These are the ancient gold mines of southern Africa that some believe were operated by extraterrestrial beings called the Anunnaki. For nearly 50 years, this theory has captivated millions worldwide and inspired the popular Ancient Aliens TV series, claiming that advanced aliens mined gold here for hundreds of thousands of years before creating humans as their slave labor force. The story begins in 1976 when author Zecharia Sitchin published The 12th Planet, introducing the world to his interpretation of ancient Sumerian texts. According to Sitchin, the Anunnaki were advanced humanoid extraterrestrials from the undiscovered planet Nibiru, who arrived on Earth around 500,000 years ago. Their mission was singular: extract gold from the rich deposits of what is now South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, and Tanzania. Sitchin claimed these beings established mining operations across the region, with Enki, their chief scientist, leading expeditions to what the Sumerians called Abzu, the land of mines in Africa. When the physical labor became too demanding for the Anunnaki workers, they supposedly used genetic manipulation and in vitro fertilization to create the first Homo sapiens by hybridizing their own species with Homo erectus. These engineered humans became their mining workforce, toiling in the gold mines for millennia. However, biblical scholar Michael Heiser, an expert in Semitic languages, states bluntly about Sitchin's work. I can tell you and show you that what Zecharia Sitchin has written about Nibiru, the Anunnaki, the Book of Genesis, the Nephilim, and a host of other things has absolutely no basis in the real data of the ancient world. Modern scholars point out that Sitchin's translations of Sumerian and Mesopotamian texts are inconsistent with cuneiform bilingual dictionaries produced by ancient Akkadian scribes. But what does the actual archaeological evidence reveal about ancient gold mining in southern Africa? The truth is far more remarkable than any alien intervention theory. It's the story of sophisticated African civilizations that mastered mining and metallurgy thousands of years ago. The oldest confirmed evidence comes from the Ngwenya Mine in modern-day Eswatini. In 1964, radiocarbon dating of charcoal nodules from this site revealed dates of 43,000 BCE, making it one of the world's oldest known mining operations. This wasn't alien technology at work, it was early human ingenuity, with indigenous peoples using fire-setting techniques and stone tools to extract iron ore and later, precious metals. Fast forward tens of thousands of years through the Iron Age to around 900 CE, when the foundations were laid for one of Africa's most sophisticated gold mining civilizations, the Kingdom of Mapungubwe. Located in the northern reaches of modern South Africa, this society flourished between 1000 and 1300 CE, with its capital housing 5,000 people at its peak and controlling territory spanning 30,000 square kilometers. The Mapungubwe people weren't primitive miners struggling with crude tools. They were master craftspeople who created some of the most exquisite gold artifacts ever discovered in Africa. The famous Golden Rhino of Mapungubwe, dating to the 13th century, demonstrates their sophisticated metallurgical skills. Made from several pieces of thin gold foil pressed over a wooden core and held in place with minute gold nails, this masterpiece required advanced knowledge of goldworking techniques. Radiocarbon dating of organic fibers from gold anklets found at Mapungubwe confirms these artifacts were created between 1220 and 1290 CE, making them the oldest indigenous gold artifacts in southern Africa. The University of Pretoria now houses this collection, the largest ancient gold collection in southern Africa, after it was declared a national heritage treasure in 1997. But Mapungubwe was just the beginning. As climate changes around 1300 CE made their homeland less hospitable, the civilization's influence spread northward, contributing to the rise of an even more impressive society, Great Zimbabwe. This UNESCO World Heritage Site flourished from the 11th to 15th centuries, reaching its zenith in the 13th and 14th centuries when it controlled vast gold mining networks. Great Zimbabwe wasn't merely a local operation, it was the center of an international trade network built by the Shona people and other Bantu peoples. Gold mined from the surrounding regions was transported hundreds of miles to the port city-state of Kilwakisiwani on the Indian Ocean, where it was exchanged for pottery, porcelain, and silk from China and Persia. Recent archaeological excavations have uncovered fragments of over 100 gold processing vessels, including reused pottery and purpose-made crucibles, revealing the industrial scale of their operations. These weren't isolated achievements. Archaeological evidence shows that indigenous African peoples operated over 75,000 gold mines across the region, many of which were later taken over by colonial powers. As recorded in local oral history, most large-scale gold mines were established on old gold workings. White people only gave our forefathers some blankets as a token of appreciation when they were shown these ancient mines. So where does the Anunnaki theory fit into this rich archaeological record? The connection largely stems from the work of modern researchers like Michael Tellinger, who has spent decades investigating what he calls anomalous stone structures across southern Africa. Tellinger claims to have identified over 10 million stone circles throughout the region, constructed by a civilization we supposedly knew nothing about. In 2003, South African pilot Johan Hein made an accidental discovery that would fuel these alternative theories. Forced to make an emergency landing in the Mpumalanga region, Hein crashed into a mountainside and emerged unharmed to find 3 massive dolomite stones, each weighing around 5 metric tons, arranged in what appeared to be an astronomical alignment. Hein and Tellinger dubbed this site Adam's Calendar, claiming it was an ancient astronomical device potentially 75,000 years old. Tellinger's research extends far beyond this single site. He estimates there may be 100,000 or more ancient stone ruins scattered across southern Africa and Zimbabwe, many connected by what he describes as channels and roads. He claims to have found at least 25 ancient mine shafts in gold-rich areas, with some covered by 30 meters of soil, suggesting extreme antiquity. The indigenous Zulu people have their own name for the Adam's Calendar site, Inzalo Yalanga, meaning the birthplace of the sun. They consider it sacred and connected to their ancestors, adding another layer to its cultural significance. However, mainstream archaeologists view these claims with considerable skepticism. The scientific consensus is that the Blayubashkral stone ruins, which include the Adam's Calendar site, are part of a complex stone walling system built by the Bikoni people around the early 16th century. These structures likely served as cattle enclosures, agricultural terracing, and housing practical rather than mystical purposes. The debate extends beyond academic circles into questions of cultural representation. Critics argue that ancient astronaut theories carry troubling implications, focusing on monumental archaeological structures and claiming they could only have been constructed with extraterrestrial intervention. This perspective essentially suggests that non-white indigenous peoples couldn't have built these remarkable achievements on their own. Today, the Stone Circle Lodge and Museum in Waterville Boven, Mpumalanga Province, continues to attract visitors interested in these alternative theories. Tellinger appeared on Coast to Coast AM as recently as July 2024, updating his research and maintaining that some stone circles could be as recent as 12,000 years old, while others might date back hundreds of thousands of years. Meanwhile, legitimate archaeological research continues to reveal the true sophistication of ancient African civilizations. New excavations at Great Zimbabwe are yielding fresh insights into gold processing techniques, while researchers are working to create decolonized archaeological knowledge that incorporates African voices and perspectives into our understanding of the past. The ancient gold mines of southern Africa represent one of humanity's greatest archaeological treasures, not because of alien intervention, but because they demonstrate the remarkable achievements of indigenous African civilizations. From the 43,000-year-old Ngwenya Mine to the sophisticated trading networks of Mapungubwe and Great Zimbabwe, these sites tell the story of human ingenuity, technological advancement, and cultural sophistication that spans tens of thousands of years. Whether you're drawn to the mystique of ancient astronaut theories or the solid ground of archaeological evidence, one thing remains clear: the golden legacy of Southern Africa continues to captivate, inspire, and teach us about our shared human heritage. The real story of these ancient mines may be even more extraordinary than any extraterrestrial intervention. It's the story of us.